Welcome back to the Learned Alpha Podcast. I'm Van.
I'm Derek.
And we have a special guest with us today.
What's up, yo?
Mr. Brian Norton. So real quick, some housekeeping. The Junction Grief Center reached out to us. They're going to be putting on a camp in June to help the youth with a loss of a family member and experiencing grief. And we are going to help out with that. If you're having grief and some issues with loss, you can go to thejunctionms.org and hopefully they can help you all out. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, that sounds pretty positive, man.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point is just to help our community get better.
All right. Never know, man. Might be able to help you out with that.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously all lost, and it's a hard thing to go through. So, who's Brian Norton?
Man, Brian Norton is Shrek, man. Look,
AKA.
That's right, man. Long story with that. But nah, man, hey, I'm Brian Norton, man. I'm here in Van Cleve, Mississippi, man. It's AKA, it's God's country for me, man. I got a beautiful wife, Kayla. I got my 4 kids, 19-year-old Taryn. I got my son, who's Cole. He's 14, middle school kid. And I got Peyton, who's 11. And, of course, got Emerson, who's 7, man. And we live right here in Van Cleve, man. We bleed Bulldog blue. Sorry, Red. But nonetheless, though, we Bulldog Nation out here.
Gotcha. So, law enforcement and a business owner.
Man, a little bit of both, man. A little bit of both, man. So, yeah, man, military brat, and, man, my dad, he was in the Navy. He was a corpsman. And, so we were assigned to many bases throughout the nation, and then we travel. And, but, I think I found my home in Camp Lejeune because we did 2 tours there, or he did. I was just there, obviously. But I went to a military school there, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, man. Good school, man. Small school, but good, And, man, it's kind of funny because I was listening last night on y'all's podcast, talk about 9/11, things like that. But, man, absolutely, that day, I was in 10th grade, second period, something like that, 9, whatever it was. And, man, just watching everything, man. And then next thing you know, it just kind of seemed like, okay, the base is on lockdown. Because we lived on base. Out here in Keesler, you got like Keesler base, and then there's a few houses out there, but you got like little communities and stuff that are military housing. But for us, man, it was, we were on base,
Base.
Yeah, it was like its own little world, own little community in a sense, and anyway.
Jacksonville ain't that big anyway, so.
No, it ain't. Hey, man, I heard it's grown up. I heard it's crazy big now. But nonetheless, though, man, so basically, it's locked down, next thing you know, a couple weeks, month later or so, dad's off, and all my friends' kids, or all my friends, they were off, and and then next thing you know, some came back, some did not, and some moved off, some stayed around, so you just never really knew, man. And I was just too busy trying to be a kid, man. Play ball, play sports. That's all I do. That's all I love it. And but it was real. It was real, man, for sure. Because my brother was already in the Army as well. And so next thing you know, I went off to play college football. Did good at that for a little while. It didn't work out for me. And Dad's like, man, look, man, get it together. Come on down here to Mississippi. Now, I already came down here once, helped him move down here. But, man, he says, get on down here. Let's get you right. Nothing crazy, but just, me being a kid, know. And no law enforcement trouble. But, so basically, man, so, yeah, I came down here. And it was funny because I was walking in your house. You got that long board and paddle board, long board, however way you want to call it. And I was like, Dad, man, where the waves at, man? He's like, it's South Mississippi. It's the coast, man. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, where's the waves? Like, there's no waves. I'm like, Jesus, goodness. So, North Carolina, Camp Lejeune, Jacksonville,
right
on the little beach.
That's
it
right.
had waves, man. Like, so it was kind of weird, like not seeing the waves, and so anyway, so I got a job. Michael's nightclub, little bouncer. Had no idea what I want to do with my life, man. And next thing you know, man, got on Bay St. Louis Police Department. And funny story with that is, I walked into the police department, big guy, play football, relatively in shape, and I walked in there, man, it's just right after Katrina. So, of course, I'm learning about Katrina because I wasn't here for that.
Right.
And so, of course, my mom, they had like a tree in the kitchen or something weird stuff like that. But a lot of devastation, obviously. And so basically, man, I walked in this old school off Old Spanish Trail in Bay St. Louis. And it looks terrible. And I'm like, wow, this is, what am I doing? Right.
Yeah.
So I walked in and, man, Chief Frank McNeil, man, he's sitting there, old school guy, man, old guy, glasses half cocked down. And, man, don't you know, he never even looked up at me. I walked in there. I felt like I looked good. I felt like I, Taylor pressed, just looking the part, looking for a job, man. And I walked in. I go to hand him my application, man. That man never looked up at me. He never even took my application. So I just kind of set it down. Like, I almost felt like, that's kind of a disrespectful thing. Well, here, take it then.
Right.
Well, man, look, I needed a job, man. And so anyways, so he looks down. He looks at it. He stands up. You're hired. Never asked me my name. Not once. So I'm like, well, yes, sir. I don't know how much I'm going to make.
That probably played with your head more than any other guy.
Oh, absolutely. I almost kind of thought, man, okay, this dude is lying.
Do I really want to be here?
Yes. Like, or, hey, man, we need people so bad, or you're just a dummy to come here. I don't know.
We got him.
We got him. And he did for a year. Anyway, so so he's like, all right, come with me. We're going to go get a car. I'm like, all right, cool. Henderson Ford, Highway 90. We get down there. So, man, we got to pick that car up. I'm like, okay, man, that's your car. I'm like, really? Man, here I am I'm in like a 2001 Ford Focus, man. Hatchback. Maybe it's 2003.
What color was it?
Gray, charcoal gray. But listen,
I bet
man.
you it had Dallas Cowboy stickers on it.
No, but it was great for the Cowboys. But here's the deal. Man, it was like a big guy in this little car, man. You know what I'm saying? But, man, when I put my arm up, my big old arms, I was like, yeah. But then I was like, man, people really laughing at me when I'm thinking I'm looking cool. But nonetheless, though, man, it's what I can afford. But nonetheless, so, man, we go get the car. I'm like, holy cow, getting this car. I'm driving back to the station. I'm like, man, all these buttons. Like, do I press the buttons? Am I allowed to, like, turn the switch on? Like, man, it was just so cool, man. And it was everything I ever could dream of, right? And then I know last night I was watching your podcast. You're talking about firearms and things like that. And I'm like, man, I never shot a firearm ever.
So you're hired at a police department. You've already picked up a car that's going to be yours,
Yes.
and now you've never shot a gun.
Nope.
What about a rifle? Did you shoot a rifle before that?
Nope.
Not even a rifle. So,
No.
So before you go on with this, let me
Yeah.
ask you this. So you didn't hunt when you were younger
No.
at all?
No.
Your dad just wasn't into it?
It seemed like he was gone a lot, Yeah, I don't know, man. So my dad's he's from Michigan, the UP, the Upper Peninsula up there. And my mom's from Wisconsin, and I'm born in Wisconsin. And I'm going to tell you, I don't like the cold, yo. Don't like it. But we went up there to visit a few times up there in the UP, and I'm going to tell you something. I ain't going back.
It's cold.
It's cold. And so,
So your thing was I'm living in an unstable environment because we're constantly moving all
Yeah.
over the place. And from what I'm gathering, you use sports as your thing, right?
that was my outlet, man.
Instead of hunting and shooting, sports
Right.
was your thing.
Honestly, it was crazy. I didn't even know it was really an option, right? Military bases, we always stayed at. A few times we stayed out in town, but not very long because you put in to go on base, BAH money, this and that, right? And so
Better conditions.
Right, yeah, you would think. So, of course, I went to a couple schools outside of base housing, and but the goal was always get on base,
Right.
for obvious reasons, and so, man, it was never really an option. But man, sports, I was good at everything. Every sport there was, I touched. Man, I was good at, except baseball. Man, I wasn't really good at that, man.
Yeah, but the thing with football is, though, is you still have to have that knowledge, right? Because you could fall and hurt yourself bad,
Sure.
or you could not know how to give 100% and hurt yourself bad, or hurt somebody else in a dumb play or something
Yeah.
like that. So it definitely takes a lot of knowledge and skill to play football.
Oh, it does. And here's the deal. Like, honestly, I never sustained a real injury now. Several concussions. I'm talking lights out concussions, man. And it's real. And it's absolute real deal. And, my dad, man, look, we're America's team around here. That was Cowboy fans, okay? That's what we are.
That's what I was saying about your car.
Yeah, so, but everybody that knows me knows I'm a big Notre Dame fan. I'm a big Cowboy fan. And yes, this was not our year, but we'll be back next year because we them boys. But nonetheless, though, but yeah, so, I mean, really, man, using my hand now, fishing. Dad loved fishing. We do fishing. Man, I'm gonna sound like a sissy right now, but look at these hands, bro. Big hand, big guy, big hands. Look how clean they are. Look, I ain't gonna lie. The calluses man got, I ain't got them in here. So honestly, man, it was never my thing. But man, I'm gonna tell you something. Discipline was strong. I was disciplined. I mean.
So you're learning those lessons just a different way.
In a different way.
Yeah. Military background, dad, football with coaches. So you did have that help getting pushed in that direction. You know? Well, some kids that don't do sports, that don't hunt and fish, that don't have an alpha dad or a good male role model around, they don't have that.
No, dude, it's real, man. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. And you know, I told my son the other day. I only got one son. He's in middle school, great athlete, man. I love him to death. But you know, he's never hunted. We've never hunted. Now, many opportunities. Now, I will eat some deer meat. So when we get done here, if you got some in your freezer, I'll take some.
I got some hogs.
Hey, there you go. I don't know about that either. But man, you know, I got good neighbor, man. He loves to hunt, man. Him and his father-in-law, man, they talk about it. And of course, man, one of my best friends across the street, Mike Santa Cruz, he was a big hunter, man. And, you know, he took his own life, you know, not long ago. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like, mental health's real. That's what brings me to my point is, you know, sports, whether it's football and wrestling and things like that, man, like it was just a discipline that I loved. And I think my trajectory was military or sports, right? But man, my dad always pushed my dreams. He was like, man, if you want it, you gotta go get it. And I did. I mean, my first job, most people work at like a food court or a McDonald's. I worked in a gym for $5 an hour.
Right.
Now, did I work? Nope. No. I lifted. I cleaned floors and did a few things. I took some personal training, stuff like that, and I tried to, you know, I don't know if I was trying to look for a girlfriend at the time or what I was trying to do, but you know, man, I was obsessed with it, man, and so that's all I did. So that was my focus, man, just sports, man. That was it. That was my way out.
So fast forward, you know, you get down here, you get your new start with your dad. Yeah. What out of all the things you'd experienced made you wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to put in to be a cop?
Yeah. So good question, right? So I get here, right? And I get a job immediately. I don't want to look like I'm let my dad down, let my mama down, you know? Right. I'm going to get a job. You know, I'm not going to freeload from them, although they'd send me money all the time, and I greatly appreciate it.
Wasn't argue with that.
No, it was not. Until he told me to come on down here to South Mississippi, you know? And so I get a job at Michael's nightclub, man. And, of course, you know, but man, not even a couple months, man. He's like, yeah, me and your mom, your sister, man, we're rolling, we're retiring, we're going to Texas. My brother was stationed in Fort Hood out there, and I think it's Fort Hood. But so I was like, well, shoot, I'll go. Man, no, I ain't gonna work out, man. You here, you can start something, you can get something. So I did, and you know, and so that's what I did, man. So, I mean, they didn't leave me like that, you know, but at the same time, it was, hey, man, look, like, get off your ass. Like, let's go. Or, like, you go make something of yourself. You know, be a fan.
It's your time to shine.
That's it, man. And it was scary, man. I had bills. But I'm going to tell you, man, I loved it. And I stayed, you know, went to Police Academy Bay St. Louis, like I said, right? I was there a year. And everybody grew up watching Cops, man. Bay St. Louis was not Cops. Okay. Now, we had a few things, couple homicides, that little club over there called Third Base, man. Used to hound that for dope, man. Just, you know, loved it. But it just wasn't me, right?
Pretty much a bedroom community.
Yeah, yo. And so
the book reading is tomorrow at 3, and wine and
man,
cheese
but
tasting.
now, but let me tell you something, man. Now, man, they're revitalized. Like Toby Swartz is the chief over there, man. I love that guy, man. He was my old boss at DEA. But anyway, but man, like it's just up and coming, you know. And so it didn't work out for me there.
That was wilding out at bingo.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's all they had, a book club and weaving and everything else, man. No disrespect to Bay St. Louis, because what's platform's going to get out there. But check this, man. So I left there. But he said, man, come to Wiggins. I'm like, where's Wiggins? Because, again, like I said, I ain't been here long. So I'm like, where's Wiggins? In the woods, right? Everybody that knows me now, I don't go in the woods. I don't play with it. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I'll follow Van or my buddy Scott Toothman to a deer stand, but if you leave me, God help you, I promise you.
The aliens won't get you.
Man, I don't know, dude.
They won't.
Listen, banjos.
Man, I'm going to tell you something, man. Ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. So, anyway, yeah, man. So, I'll go to Wiggins. They literally have like 2 officers a shift, man. And they had the dishes. It's like 4th Street you could really hunt dope on, you know. And I was like, man, this is so slow but so easy. But bills weren't really an issue then because I had a job now. So I was like, man, I just need to find something. Like, this is not cops either. Highway 49 interdiction, not for me.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, man, this is it. But remember, as I said earlier, I didn't do anything with my hands. I didn't grow nothing, didn't build nothing like that. So this is all I know. And still to this day, a lot of it, all I know. But, but anyway, so Buddy calls and said, man, come to Moss Point. I'm like, man, I just don't know, man. They're getting a couple of $1 an hour raise. I'm like, oh, man, you know what? All right, cool. I mean, little did I knew we had infamous Derek here.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But nonetheless, though, so I go over there, man. And I walk in. They hire me right off the gate, right? And, man, my first night pursuit, man, in Little Circle and all that. And I'm telling you, man, it was so much fun. Man, I'm telling you, man, it was a blast, dude. It hooked me. It hooked me so bad. It just something got a hold of me. And anyway, so then we had that homicide right there. That's never fortunate at all. But, this guy stops at a gas station, asks for directions. Got down by juveniles with no direction. Juveniles didn't have no direction, no daddy, no nothing. And they killed this old man. Just come and watch his grandson, man. And I was like, I was first there on scene, with Ish. And, we trying to work on that guy, and he didn't make it. But, it was just so crazy, man, like how out of control Moss Point was at that time.
And you went from Wiggins to Moss Point.
Yo, facts.
Night and day difference.
Big gate. And I love Wiggins, good people.
And let me clarify, like we're not like glorifying the violence of working there or anything like that. But I think you're talking like I was talking the other day when I said I got into police work to be a cop and to do cop things, and there was plenty of cop things to be done in Moss Point.
Yes, no doubt. And we talked about playing cops and robbers, stuff like that, man. But honestly, man, I knew that with my OCD mentality or whatever it is I may have, my mission, focus, discipline, my drive, there you go, that I learned from my dad. Like, hey, look, I can make a difference here.
Right.
I truly know it. People don't know me. I'm not from South Mississippi. I'm not here. They have no idea where this dude, now called Shrek or Yo, he came from. Okay, but now they do. But nonetheless, though, man, look, hey, I knew it. You know what I mean? I was going to put a stop to this crime. I was going to actually do it. And I'm going to tell you something, man. And I married a hometown girl, right, out of Gaucher. Didn't even know how to say Gaucher, really. Gautier. So,
Derek is cringing right now.
Oh, man, I'm going to tell you, though. So, but really, though, man, that was my home for a long time, 10 years, So I just really, and I went into dope work and made a lot of great cases, solved a lot of crime. And I'm going to tell you, I felt like I truly made a difference. But there's sacrifices. And my wife paid for those. She was a good mom, good wife, man. She supported me through all the overtime like you all talked about last night, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you balance that? And honestly, just trying to balance all that, man, it was super tough. But I'm going to tell you, man, I like to think and feel that, especially Taryn and Cole, they see the drive that, I had or have, and that they can take something with them. They're relatively young, so.
Right. But they still know you as a man.
Yep.
And what you do. And I think the important thing is you can have all the drive in the world that you want and put forth as much effort at work as you want. But what I've learned in my life is you got to put that same effort in at home.
Right.
And that's how you find that balance.
Right. And I'm going to be honest, I wasn't. Man, I was so ate up with the job, man, the dope world. I mean, I knew what criminal was having an affair on their wife. I knew where their money was. I knew everything about it. It was my job to know everything. And I took that to heart. And honestly, and if it wasn't for Kayla just being super strong and just supporting, my goal of everything that I wanted to do, I wouldn't have been able to do it, or I'd be doing it by myself, right?
Right.
So. Well, I think if your people really do love you, they see the passion that you have for the work that you're doing. Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff that you're doing at work is crossing over to home. They're seeing that hey, my dad's making a difference, and that's something for them to be proud of too.
Yeah,
if
for
you're
sure.
doing the right job for the right reasons.
Right, and that was it. The whole narcotics world, man. When we was on the local team, I was on the local team. Then I was I graduated, if you will, moved up to the DEA side and working the bigger cases. I seemed like I was kind of gone a little bit more because cases, had me travel, things like that, and worked a few things. But I'm gonna tell you, man, we developed we're a partnership, man, right? And I did miss out on a lot. And but I'm gonna tell you, she reeled me in. It's like, hey, look, man, like, I know you love this. Like, this is great. And I appreciate everything you're doing. And a lot of people come up to her and say, man, I appreciate your husband's service, or they may know directly or indirectly about my cases. It could, honestly, I'm gonna tell you where it really worked for me. I cut it off. And I can't say most cops can do that. I do. And I don't know how I can do it. I don't know if it's my daddy or my mama or whatever it is it may be. But I'm going to tell you, she'd be the first one to tell you, I don't bring my work home. I don't talk about my work. Now, my phone goes off nonstop when you're working, informants and this and that, or your bosses are calling. Now, that part, yeah. But outside of, like, bringing my work home, no, didn't matter what I saw.
So who did you talk to when you had a bad day or you had like...
No, my wife. I would talk to her about it, but honestly, it has to be something
major.
Yes.
Because you didn't want her worried about all that. 'Cause
Right.
the more you tell her, the more she's going to...
Yeah, it pushed me out of it, right? Like, she kind of pushed me out of it, but like for my health, my mental health reason, not because she didn't want me there. No, I mean, that was never the case. She's never really just been like, man, this is just, no. No, she's never been that way, man. Never. But, and honestly, friends, we got a mutual friend, Wesley Hall, and it's just different throughout friends that, that do some of the work you do, and just some of your networking of your people. You talk about your cases, man, you feel good about it. But, but honestly, it comes down to about balance. And I'll be honest, right here, right now, right here on Learn Alpha, I failed at that at first. But it took my wife to really just kind of work with me and say, hey, look, this is what we need to do. And I bought in. Here I am, Biloxi.
Yeah. But that's the important thing, and that's a sign of a good dad, because you chose the right path. You can still have a very successful career, but you can also have a very successful time at being dad.
Right.
Because, and like I said to Derek the other day, your kids aren't going to remember the overtime. Mm-hmm. They're going to remember, was he at my softball game? Did he bring me to church on Sunday?
Right.
Did we go on vacation?
Right.
Because those are the imprinted memories those kids are going to have.
Well, and the thing is where, you make this money, where are you spending your money, right? Like, I want to spend them on memories, right? And I don't know if y'all know what Lululemon is, but
I don't think you can be alive today and not know what it is.
Man, it is killing me. It has been for years. But really though, it's, yes, the material things, but we just, we were blessed to go to Disney World over the Mardi Gras break, and so, we were only there a couple of days, nothing long, nothing major, nothing fancy, but it was just us, right?
You made those memories though.
We did. Our oldest couldn't join us, she has school, but I mean, she prioritized though, and so
right.
it's just kind of one of those things, man, when we talk about risk versus reward, right? And the reason, I missed dope work so much, but going to Biloxi has been a different game changer. Now I'm on patrol, answering my calls. Some days I'm harder, going after the dope, or in other days that I'm not, but you have that flexibility, and they allow the opportunity for that balance, right? Depending on what your mission and your goal is with that department, right? And so it depends on how, which way you're going to work. But it was time to get out. It was. Here I am. I'm now at Biloxi, and I do enjoy it. I do not enjoy the events. I'm very vocal about that. But nonetheless, though, when you get hired in there and they straight up tell you, hey, look, you want to be here? Yeah. We want you here. Yeah. However, you can work these events. And I'm like, oh. At first, I'm like, yeah, man, no big deal. Now I'm like, oh, my God.
But at least they're up front.
Oh, yeah, no, hey, that's one thing about it. They need you up front.
Yeah. So what about your business?
Yeah, so, man, South Mississippi Jelly Ball, man. Look, everybody grew up playing paintball. Well, most people did. And that junk hurt, man. It hurt, left bruises. And for us, it was a big thing right off base and things like that, man. We challenged them off base boys. Man, what's that new show out? Was it the Kooks and the Pogues? Man, I don't know, man. It's an episode right out. It's a thing. I don't know what it's called right now. I'm gonna think of it, but nonetheless, so you always have competition with your off base guys and your on base guys, right? We're doing better than you, and
You're talking about the Outer Banks.
yo, that's it. And I watched every episode. It's legit. I don't care what people say. But here,
Are you a pogue?
yeah, man. I don't
Okay,
have money. I ain't got no money, man.
Just making sure.
I'm the police, man. I ain't got no money like that. But look, so no, I mean, but yeah, so we played paintball and we loved it. I loved it. And anyway, so Cole comes to me. He's like, man, I was like, man, you want to cut some grass? Like, you want to do something? Like, you want to save up for a truck? Like, you want me to just buy you a car? Well, you bought Taryn one. Yeah, I did. Okay. But you, son, you're a man. You're the only man here. No, we're going to have to work for it. So anyway, started browsing a little bit. Guy ran across from high school in South Carolina. Just going through and I seen this jelly ball. I'm like, man, what is that? Well, first and foremost, I got a security business as well. We do small, a couple contract things like that. But that's obviously just aside from moonlighting, right? And it's just, instead of me being there, you put people to work and this and that. Because honestly, law enforcement is so underpaid, right? And so, you're kind of forced to do something else, a side hustle, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, but honestly, though, my wife's dad, man, James Flynn, rest in peace, man. Let me tell you something about that guy. Dreamer. I'm that guy. He's not my dad, but I'm going to tell you, I look up to him, and, he passed away several years ago, but I'm going to tell you something, man, just the ambition he had. A while back, we had a vape store, right, before I went out to the DEA, and that was great, man, but it just felt weird, right? So I was trying to get on.
Didn't you have a restaurant before that?
We did, right? So we left there. Well, we had the building, so we left, took the money from the vape store, went into the restaurant business. Man, we did really well for a while, man. But, man, finding workers and then the increase in cost and just everything, food walking out the back door, you would think you could trust your employees,
It's tough.
It's tough, man. The whole business itself is tough. But I'm going to tell you something, man. The law enforcement, they come together, they supported us, they worked there. A lot of Gosha guys, man, they come in there, eat, we feed them free. If not, we help them out very nicely. But nonetheless, though, it just didn't work out, and so, and then Jimmy, my wife's dad, got sick with cancer and things like that. And so that kind of like really just put a damper on any kind of dreams, really, right? Anything moving forward. Now, Miss Jeannie, she's still alive and well. That's my wife's mama. She's a general manager at Wendy's, handling business still, 70-something years old, not missing a beat. And it's like, man, if I could be like that, right? And but nonetheless, though, so ran across this business opportunity. I was like, man, there's nothing like this for kids down here on the coast. Something for kids to do. Yeah, you can get a bounce house. Nothing wrong with that. You can get a water slide. Nothing wrong with that. Paid it, done it, had it. Lynn Meadows went there this past couple of weeks, or whenever it was Emerson's birthday back in December. Done it, paid it. You're going to pay the money, right? I was like, man, but you need something, man. Something fun, like just adventurous activity, running around, shooting your friends. But it don't hurt. That's the thing about Jelly Ball. It doesn't hurt. You feel it. It's like a rubber band pop,
Right.
But we give you all the safety mask, and we do really, really thorough safety briefing on every party we do.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
With the jelly ball, are they big jellies or small jellies?
So they're about between 7-8 millimeters, right? So they're small, man. Each hopper that we have fits about 750 rounds, and it's semi-automatic or automatic. It is automatic. You can hold it down, and they're gonna, or you can just sporadic shoot, whatever. And but they're super accurate, man. I remember with your little girl and even Beth, remember the Orbeez? You stick your feet in.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. That's
so
all it is.
It doesn't hurt at all.
No, you feel it though. I ain't gonna lie. Now that's false advertising. You do, but here's the deal.
But it doesn't leave welts.
No welts. Unless you're really super up close. I mean, you'll feel it type of still. During the end of these parties, we do like a free for all, depending on age appropriate, of course. Because then they're rolling up on each other and they blasting their friends, man. They klooper. And I tell them, hey man, do not shoot within 6 feet. But what do? Wow. So, but it's fun though, man. It brings together teamwork, camaraderie. We do birthday parties, obviously, team corporate events, bachelor parties, school events, church events, lock-ins. Man, we've done it all, and I'm going to tell you something, man. It is a hit. And why it's a hit? I always challenge them. Now, you two know me well. I'm an energetic dude, man. Very rarely do you see me down, right? And I tell these kids, match my energy. Dare ya. They ain't matching it. I'm going to tell you. Because why? It's my business, too. That's the goal. I want that effort. I want you to give me that, that competitive effort. And I tell these parents, hey, look, I know it's going to seem crazy when we have 30 people out here shooting at each other, but just look at it as organized chaos. I'm going to handle everything.
Yeah. And they're outside. They're not on a tablet. They're not on a computer.
Facts. And that's the deal. Man, get off your phone. Like, go outside. Go do something. You know what I mean? Just go run around and shoot and play different games. Now, we got, deathmatch. We got so many series of games, age-appropriate, different things. And I look at the age. I figure out what's going to be good for us. And so I invested, the money into doing this, bringing this down here to South Mississippi, and I'm the only one down here that's doing it. And I'm gonna tell you, it's been great, man. It does take time, though. It takes time away from your weekends. You can get some employees,
But your son's helping you with this.
So check this. He was. Then in October or September, he broke his leg in football. Okay, so play up the middle, broke free. He's running. Big guy for Pat Christian jumps on his back. He goes one way. His leg goes the other. Completely just spiral fracture, man. You talk about just devastating, man. And I seen him on the ground, and I'd seen that roll, that rock, and I was like, oh no, this ain't right. I know him.
You know your own kid.
Yeah, that's right.
Dad instincts are kicking.
Buddy.
Yeah.
So we get out there, and Scott Toothman, good buddy of mine, Cole's like, go Scott, is it broke? Is it broke? He's like, I don't know. And Scott's looking at me like, yo. I'm like, oh gosh. So, but man, yeah, man. So, we went to the hospital, split him up, things like that. So it's been a heck of a road, man. Of course, obviously, Dr. Bills, this and that, that's whatever. But that's not even it, man. The financial, you got to think, this is a kid who has been nothing but, like an old soul.
Yeah.
That's him. That's money. His nickname to me is Money. Everybody called him Cold Money. And I'm going to tell you something, man. He's just a downright good kid, right? And the thing, too, is that he's been an athlete, 3-sport athlete, from football, basketball, baseball. So he's had to miss out on basically all football. But he always showed up every practice, every game, whether in pain. He showed up because that's what discipline tells you. That's what being a good leader, being a good teammate is.
Well, what that tells me is that he learned a lot of that from you.
Yeah, well, I hope so, because that's the discipline I learned from my dad, and so I'm transitioning down to him, and so then here comes basketball. He's a dog on the court, man, loves it. Great effort, man, but gotta miss it. Showed up to every ball game, every practice, and we're getting better. Take some X-rays. It's still broke. Sorry, dog. Oh gosh. So naturally, man, now we're here on baseball tonight. Actually, 7:00. They play right here in Van Cleve. And but what's so crazy about it all, man, is the physical aspect of it. It's him putting in that work. He doesn't have coaches on his behind saying, "Come on, let's go do this, let's go do that." You know what I mean? Because they're not there with him, right? We're at home, so he'd be out there putting in the work. And then, and then naturally good motivation, and nobody letting him down, man. Mama saying, come on, hey, go, like, look, you want it, bro. Like, you got to go get it. You got to work harder than everybody else right now. It is what it is. That's life. It is what it is. But how you respond to it is everything, and like I told him actually today, 10% is your present, what's happening right now. 90% of it is how you respond to it. And so it's been a long, grueling few months, man. From a mental health aspect, you got a kid, he has to show up to his homecoming, man, in a wheelchair, in a cast.
Yeah.
We have an event at the house. A lot of his great friends came over, supported him and things like that, because he is super talented. And, but not even necessarily the athlete gift, it's just his mental, right?
Right.
And I like to take credit for that, sure. But, at the end of the day, like, he sees it from his mama. He sees it from me, his grandpa, he's got 2. And so, 1 now. But so it's everything all in one, right? And so, it's kind of bittersweet, see tonight or Thursday, and pitching and just kind of finally coming full circle. But I'm going to tell y'all, man, mental health for real in these juveniles, especially these athletes, man. And there's a lot of pressure to be there, a lot of pressure to perform. and perform in the classroom because he knows. Buddy, that's
You're
one thing.
not playing
No,
sports
sir.
if your grades aren't good.
Buddy, let me tell you something. That ain't happening. It will not happen. And so, you know, I lay it out when they're young. Let them know, hey, man, this is the business. This is what we're doing. And so, you know, it brings me back to my goal with Jelly Ball, man, is that it's been a good thing. My wife's super supportive. We got a pop-up clubhouse for some of the girls, and they do like a little dance, and we bring an inflatable 20 by 20. We bring the speakers, the lights, the fog machine, the whole nine. And the thing is that, I guess it was a TikTok trend for a minute, but what my wife loved about that was so many times our oldest, she's in college now, it's like, man, where's she going? Right? Like, yeah, we want her to be a kid, go have fun with her friends, right? And go to these so-called parties and hope and pray that she's going to make a respectable and right decision, right? But it's like, you know, if we could provide a safe place, well, so she's like, you know, what about this? Like, people can have an event at their house and give their kids their privacy for their friends, but yet you know where they are.
Right. You don't have to worry about.
You don't have to worry about that. So it's like, how would you not want that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, kids are going to do what kids going to do in their little tent and things like that, but you expect that they would be proper. And that's what we provided. That's what we got, and it's been a great success, man. And Jelly Ball is just, it's been a phenomenal thing, man. I feel like our prices are right. I feel like, because the thing is, what people don't realize is you're taking time, drive there, set up, take down, drive back, X, Y, and Z. So you're providing this experience for kids, and that's just like
At their own house.
yeah. Well, and then the Junction, Mississippi, right? You know, that's the reason why, you know, we do what we do, is because every kid deserves a Jelly Ball party to some degree, and we got different price points for different reasons. But it brings me to my point is, it's something for everybody. And like I tell these parents out here, hey, look, sit back. There's no mess. There's no cleanup. I do it all. There is no mess. The ammunition disintegrates and things like that. There's nothing. And you can hit your car. You can hit your boat. You can do whatever. It's not going to hurt nothing.
Right.
And so sit back and chill out and just, you know, have fun. But dude, don't you know, 90% of the time, man, the parents
want it.
Ooh, it's like a parent-child therapy, man. I get to shoot my kids, or a couples therapy, shooting an old lady, you know, and things like that. I'm gonna tell you something.
I can imagine with Derek out there.
Airing of grievances.
Remember, you didn't clean your room.
Man, I'm telling you, man, and it gets real. By the way, it does, and you know, and I've never had to stop a game for anything, you know.
Maybe you should have a safe word.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not. They're on their own.
Alligator.
But
It's a gauche joke,
But you know, here's the deal though, man. I spent a lot of time in East Central George County, right, and all across the coast, man. We have a do-it-yourself service that, you know, instead of paying for me and my team to go out there, you know, you're able body, you're a man, you can do it. You can do it yourself. I provide you everything you need to do, from the bunkers to the mask to the ammo to the everything, troubleshooting. Hey, you ever typed up a manual? Hey, look, what pictures?
Right on.
Looks good.
You're fancy.
I know. So I did that, but yeah. So, you know, but no, nonetheless, though, really, anybody can do it. And you know, I had a couple rentals in the this past weekend, and while we were away, you know, and it's nothing like, man, checking back on your customer and say, hey, man, how was it? Honestly, give me the good, bad, the ugly, man. Something don't work, man, let me know.
Right.
And man, don't you know, man, super great feedback, man. They loved it, because essentially there's nothing that can go wrong. You're out there, you're having fun, you're doing it in your own time, your own space, man. Like, there's just nothing about it. And then at the end of the day, it's so rewarding when those kids come up to you and say, hey, that was the coolest party I've ever had.
We know why? Because they're so used to be, like I said, sitting inside, not doing anything, or just, it's no different than these kids going to dinner with their parents and everybody's.
Yeah, the only way that they interact with each other is through a video game or through some type of social media.
Here's my meme. Hold on, let me text you this meme, and they just both laugh without ever saying anything.
Well, I don't know. Is it,
Bro, memes are therapy, though.
Is it
Really.
meme? Is it? Well, I don't know. Hey, yo, is it meme or is it mem? I say, man, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, but even my kids though, they're on their phones and this and that, and another and third, but yeah. So Cole he was helping me with that, and then he got broke. So he's kind of getting back now, and I got a high school kid, man. Little Robert Tinson Jr., man, he's great, dude. What a fantastic young man, high school senior, man, and real simple on the baseball team, great football player, man. He's just a good kid and raised by a good family, and I'm gonna tell you, so, you know, he can make a few dollars and to make a difference. And I think honestly though, it's more teaching them about money, math, and worry about how can you be a boss. Like, let me show you how you can be your own boss, right?
Right.
Now, obviously, I don't use Jelly Ball to pay bills and things like that. It's just, but I think for me, it's not about the money, man. It's about providing that experience, man, to be there for our kids, to show them, hey, look, not just the Norton kids. I'm talking about my community.
Right.
And yes, I bleed Van Cleef Bulldog blue, but I go all over the coast and I love it. And I bring a little piece of Van Cleef with me. Hey, this is what we're doing in Van Cleef. Like,
right.
Things are on the up and up. And now we got an up and up road coming through. I know that.
Big facts.
Big facts. But at the end of the day, though, man, like, things are changing. And if I could be an influence, and of course, naturally, man, I coach sports since Cole was 4, man, all the way up until 10 or whatever. I've coached so many kids, football, baseball, and and helped with basketball and things like that. And I just enjoy kids, man. I enjoy, trying to make a difference, man. So, I'm all in. If I got the time as far as, availability, bro, hey, Junction, here we come. South Mississippi Jelly Balls all day if we can make it happen. But I could tell you, though, man, since from coaching, not just Cole, honestly, man, there's so many times I forgot about my own son out there, and so I gave it up at 10 when he was about 11, I guess, because honestly, he started playing baseball, and I don't know much about baseball now. I know a little bit, you know enough to coach, but the thing is, all my coaching was just, discipline and just motivation, match my energy, get pumped up, like, have fun, man. We're here to win. We are here to win. We're not here to lose. I'm gonna be honest. But we're going to have fun doing it. And it's all about how you relay that message, transition that message to these kids. Because a lot of time you see kids throwing bats down, helmets down, and this and that. And I'm not saying my kid wasn't one of them that did it, but it was the last time he did it.
Right.
And honestly, and that starts at home, right? Like, you know, hey, look, man, you want the competitive because it's going to matter in life because everything is a competition.
100%.
But this whole attitude, everybody gets a trophy type of deal, no, man, that's not okay. But here's the deal, though. How you relay that message to that child, not every child is equal. So my wife's a TA at Van Cleef Lower, right? And she loves it, man. She loves it. And, Emerson's in first grade. But I bring that up because, like, she'll tell me, hey, look, not every kid learns the same way. I was that kid too, man. All I cared about was getting on that field. Or I didn't have the smarts to do math or X, Y, and Z or whatever. But I'm going to tell you, man, the Nortons love Van Cleef. We love our kids. We're going to teach them the best we can, and that takes us outside. And that's why when I was with Moss Point, I did so many demonstrations about narcotics and drug awareness. And, hey, how can we get better? Like, let me tell you how. And then now in Biloxi, everyone's acting like, well, this mental health deal is just on a rise. No, it's been here. It's
always been here.
It's been here. And it's
just starting to pay some attention to it.
And that's a fact. And I'll be honest, man, I don't have the answer for some of these people. I don't know. We have CIT training and things like that. And only so much the hospitals are going to do or that we can do by law even or whatever. But the thing is, if I can get to them now before they get there, then I'm winning. And I feel like so far, not just through Jelly Ball, just in life, through coaching. And honestly, man, I wanted to focus on my kid. I want to watch him learn from another guy.
Right.
Another man.
Speaking of that, I mean, like, what do you think? Everybody's got a different answer for this, but what's the hardest thing about being a dad for you?
So I think the hardest thing about being a dad for me is going to be balance. It is a balance because I love my wife so big, right? And make time for her as well. And she is so selfless, bro. Like when I tell you, I'm like selfless. We ain't never been on honeymoon. Believe that?
Come on, I believe it.
Swear. And the thing is because you can get married, you got this going on, that going on. But I'm gonna tell you something what's so cool is that my wife, this is her second year or so as a TA, right, in Van Cleef Lower. But at home, she was a stay-at-home mom with all my babies, like. So we were blessed to be in that position.
That is 100% a job,
dude,
in itself.
Man, let me tell you something. I'd rather go to work than man. Now, I'm cool with it now. But when it was little, man, bro, she had her man, Louis. She had it tough, man. So that nurturing was there. No, now we did do the preschool thing with Jack and Jill. Shout out to them, man. They're great people there. And but really though, like, so our kids really had that foundation, man. And then now that they're in grade school and up and coming or whatever, now she can kind of work and have her own dependency or whatever, independency rather, as a job. But it always brings her back to kids because she loves kids so much, man, and she's so understanding. And honestly, I'm great with kids, and I can teach them on a life lesson. I can facilitate accordingly, but a little older.
Right.
She's got that gift from little bitty. Our daughters are the same age, right? And so it's like, it's trying to talk to them about what's going on in school. And I'm like, man, just do this, do that. And my wife's like, no, we got to do it like this.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get that all the time.
So there's a reasonable expectation that we must use. And so that's my balance, man. So to answer your question, Derek, man, it's just the balance, man. And the time has gotten better. The time has gotten better. I'm hoping to expand a little bit on the Jelly Ball, and get a good team. But see, here's the deal. I have a hard time letting go. I mean, in so many aspects, like, I'm definitely not a control guy. But when it comes to not just your name, and I think because I get so bogged down and worried about, not about the money by no means, that is not important. Seriously, what's important is if I hear that a child had South Mississippi Jelly Ball at their house and they didn't have a good time, that would eat me up. Right. That would bother me so bad because, they didn't have fun. And now, get me wrong, there's some kids out there that are like, I'm not playing. Man, no way, no, it hurt, like, whatever.
I'm not getting off my tablet for nothing.
Or it hurt too bad or whatever the case may be, even though it doesn't hurt. I mean, we literally say no mess, no stain, no sting, but you feel it. But that's okay though, right? So I guess it's just, my wife's been mentoring as far as like, just need to let it go. Like, Robert's doing a great job, and so we're doing that. He's doing a few things. When I got to work Biloxi, because I work a Panama schedule every other weekend, and depending on availability and stuff like that. But so we do want to expand on that, But honestly, man, as long as I'm in the community, as long as I'm here for them, as long as I'm here teaching, as long as I'm doing something productive, man, I think I'm winning.
100%. So when you got into law enforcement and you started grinding and you were working hard in that game, did you read a bunch of books?
No.
Because you said you just learned. You're the type of person that just learns offhand.
I learn by doing. I'm quick-wit, man. I went to some undercover schools and things like that. I did a lot of undercover work and just learning to give the gab. Maybe it's I'm not from up north, man. I know my wife's going to say, yes, you are. No, listen, my parents are. I come from that way, but I'm South Mississippi. But no, but really, it's just I've always been culturally diverse, really, because we move so much, man.
Right.
You get different walks of life in the military, man. And so I've just been able to have that natural gift for that, just to understand people. I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm a big guy, and I've been, I've done the boxing, I've done everything like that. I can definitely, protect myself. But this is what I'll say: I'm even better with my words. I'm a great de-escalator. I mean, when I get out there on these calls, and some of these, younger guys got these guys amped up, not for the wrong reason, because they're just upset. Look, I'm coming in, I'm saving the day. Now, that don't mean it always works. But what I'm saying though is, I've really took the time to really just understand.
Bring some personality to the
Sure.
game.
I'm a human, dude. Right. You're a human.
That's right.
We're all humans, So it's like, man, look, we are all the same to a degree. You are a product of your environment. That's real. Moss Point, that's real.
100%.
Unfortunate. But man, there's a lot of great talent that comes out of that nice town. A lot of good people, And so when people say, oh, Moss Point, holy cow, or like you said, we're not glorifying the Vines, that doesn't make them nothing. But what it is, though, is showing that, hey, look, man, some of those people have not gotten out. And whether that's by choice or circumstance, man. So even when I got into dope game, it was like, hey, look, man, like, I know why you're selling drugs. You are killing our community. You are absolutely, especially now with fentanyl and everything else going on.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Like
It's unbelievable. And even the simple marijuana, people are putting fentanyl on marijuana. Like, what are you doing? So unless you go directly to a dispensary, man, you don't know what you're getting. But people ain't doing that for whatever reason, right? But that brings me to my point, though. I know why you're selling drugs. So once you understand why they are doing what they're doing, because that's all they know, that's their product of their environment, like, it kind of helps you kind of like maybe not get so angry per se. It's not like it's a sex crime, right? Like, there's absolutely zero reason for that, right? Well, the dope type, it's the same thing. But however, though, you understand why they're doing what they're doing, because grandmama, papa, and this and this and that. It's terrible. So, but my job as a narcotics officer is to gain as much as information as I possibly can. So how do you do that?
You got to talk to people, man. You got to talk to people,
man.
And you can't just talk to them like
blow smoke.
Analytically.
Yeah.
Right. No.
So,
right.
No, you got to be real with them.
That's right.
Real respect, real.
And what was so crazy, there's been many a times when Derek was a canine handler, thing like that. Hey, man, we need a dog. What you got? It wasn't like, bet, I'm going to go run it. I had to educate him. Hey, look, man, this is what I have. This is the information I'm telling him. And he'd say, hey, Shrek, nah, dog, not going to do it, or whatever. But what really, though, is just being educated, and not necessarily means school, man. Some people don't do well with school. Nowadays, like, they're not teaching like you would think. They're like, I remember our teaching was different to what we're doing. I'm doing a math a certain way, and Peyton's like, Z's age, like, no, we got to do the square. Like, I'm like, what? What is that?
Yeah, you got to circle back.
I'm like, okay, man. So, but, man, once you start realizing people that are humans and talk to them like humans and not analytically, that's where you get to them. And that's how you make a difference.
So let me ask you this. If you could give, in wrapping this up, if you could give advice to younger guys, they don't have to be young, 15, 16-year-old kids. They can be young dads. They could be young men. What is the most important advice you could give them through your life experiences as a narcotic agent, as a police officer, as a dad, as a husband?
Right. Believe.
To kind of help them
steer their way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so believe and dream. Man, look, a buddy of mine out of Past Christian, Brent, man, Brent, rather. He's like, I stole a slogan, small town, big dreams. Man, maybe I did, but my town's bigger than your town. But no, seriously though, when he wrote that a couple years ago in football and stuff, and I was like, dude, that's it. That's Van Cleve, man. We are a small town. We got big dreams here. Believe in yourself. Know what you're going. Know how to get there. And if you don't know, find somebody you care about and ask. We as a community will help you get where you want to go if we can. And that's why I just feel like there's got to be change somewhere. And so, not getting off into that world and that subject, because that's just a whole nother world, but I just know that there's a lot of good people here on the coast, not just in Van Cleve. But I just think that dream and believe. I'm a dreamer. And listen, we had the vape store, didn't work out. We could have probably. Had the restaurant, failed, like absolutely failed, did not work out. But I learned. But we believed and we dreamed. Jimmy was a dreamer, and we followed that dream.
Right.
And I learned so much that's made us successful here today. Not just the financial side, but just as a human, as a person side. Hey, look, man, how are we going to get here? And I'm going to tell you something else, man. Kids are watching you. The whole attitude of,
do as I say, not as I do.
Yes. Or do the right thing when nobody's looking. That's my deal. That's my deal, man. Hey, look, man. Look, I know you don't. Peer pressure is crazy. It's crazy. These kids are in such unbelievable pressure state. And you have, children that are just bullies, and you have X, Y, and Z going on. And I'm going to just tell you, man, like, be there for yours. Stand up for what you believe in, or you will fall for anything. And that is the motto in the Norton house. Doesn't matter if it's popular or not. Everybody knows, Red will tell you, I've done a lot of unpopular things. Not wrong things. There's things unpopular that I believe. And, man, 90% or maybe 85% of the time, I was right to a degree.
Right.
And it made sense, and I made the case.
You just have to believe in your convictions and what you determine to be true.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something else. Another thing to answer your question is, or to TV, man, talk to people with respect. Treat them treat them right. Like, even in our world, one thing John Miller will tell you, he's our director, our chief. Look, man, talk to people with respect. They will respect you. Now, talk to them until they don't allow you to talk to them.
Right.
And that is true. That's always been true. But I guess just seeing the different agencies I've been a part of and into where I am now, and just as I've evolved as a person, Man, I really just think that that's true. That's true, man. And I think you'll get so far with these kids.
You get what you give.
That's right. That's it, bro.
Well, man, Trek, we really appreciate you coming
Yes.
Yeah, man, thank you.
But I love it. I love it, man. I love
on.
it. I appreciate you guys.
Too, man. And man, good looking out and setting that example, not only to your kids, but to all the other kids you've come in contact, both with your job and sports with your own kids in school and stuff like that. That's a huge reason why we wanted to talk to you, because you're one of those learned alpha guys. Like you said, you never hunted before, you never shot a gun before you got in law enforcement. But look at what a difference you've made in your own community.
Yeah, I think so, man. I appreciate you guys having me. And I'm going to tell you something, man. If y'all don't know Learn Alpha, man, this is it. And, man, I'm telling you, on the up and up, and I'm here to stay. I'm here to help you guys do whatever you got to do. So I appreciate you guys, man, really.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Y'all have a good one. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.